Good morning. I want to tell you about a snowstorm that was the biggest blessing in my entire life. So, it was the year my children were born, and there was an enormous snowstorm. I mean, it was like close to 4 feet. My children were premature. In fact, they were like 2 months premature, and they weighed 3 pounds. And in order for them to get out of the hospital, they needed to do what's called a room air test, meaning they needed to be able to breathe on their own without any problems, and they needed to have a certain amount of oxygen in their bloodstream. Well, my son was the first one to actually pass the room air test. They were doing the test every day. So they said, "You can take your son home." So we took LJ, my son, home, and we were so happy to have him home. He still had to be on oxygen, but he passed his room air test and everything was fine. But then guess what happened? We had an enormous snowstorm. And that snowstorm was so big that when you opened the door, you couldn't open the door. It was almost 4 feet with the drifts. Now they told me my daughter Elisa wasn't able to get out for at least 2 weeks because she was not developing as fast as LJ was. But my daughter would have nothing to do with that. Literally a day later, she passed the test. She was like, "I'm not going to be here by myself." She passed the test, and we got this huge snowstorm. It's like, how the heck are we going to get out of here? How? So I dug my way out and barely got to the hospital to get my daughter and brought her home. So I know my family and friends in Denver have been struggling with the snowstorm. It's been, I guess, one of the biggest ones in history, at least in this time frame, a couple feet plus. But we've had bigger ones, and I've been through those. But it just reminded me how a snowstorm can actually be a blessing because you could be at home and you can turn it into a blessing. So I'm wondering if you guys are turning this snowstorm into a blessing somehow. I was lucky enough to be able to dodge a bullet. I'm in Palm Springs right now. I left on Thursday before the snowstorm because it's spring break and we wanted to be with our kids. But this snowstorm always creates anxiety. It's like we go to the grocery store ahead of time, we bring a bunch of stuff home, but you can always turn them into a blessing, these snowstorms. So tell me in the comments here, what are you guys doing during this snowstorm? Tell me what you're doing right now. You just type into this comment. I can see what you're doing. I'm going to type in here. What are you doing? Type into the comments and tell me. Snowstorm. I'm looking to see what you're doing. And then I can show it up here. What are you doing in this snowstorm right now if you're in Denver? So I remember when I was picking up Elisa, it was such a big snowstorm that I luckily had a car that could handle it. I can't remember which SUV I had at that time, but I picked her up and slipped and slided, and we had to like get sticks and stuff to pry the wheels. It was so hard. So, what are you doing during this snowstorm? Now, right now it is 72 degrees in Palm Springs, and I'm not there for it. But my friends who are there, are you working? Are you working from home? Are you driving? I don't even know what the conditions are. Tell me what you're doing. But anyhow, so another thing about snowstorms that I wanted to tell you about. There was one time where we were running a hedge fund at the time, and JP Tremblay was at my house, and he used to drive out to Conifer. And one of the things that happened is we had this enormous snowstorm, and there was no way he was going to get out. So we had to work from my house. And at the time, the internet was extremely slow. We were trading money for clients and investing, and we needed to have things going. We had a satellite system set up. The satellite system was outside, obviously, and I couldn't get to the satellite. We had to dig our way to this satellite to brush it off so that we can get market data. But during that snowstorm, it lasted 2 days. We were kind of locked down for 2 days, but it actually helped us with a lot of things. It helped us have more contingency plans. So there's always something good that comes out of these snowstorms. But I remember losing trees. We had trees that just fell down, and it was bad. It was really bad. So, are you in Denver? If you are, tell me what you're doing in Denver right now, and how are the roads? I remember the roads were so bad that we used to live on a hill. That in order to get over that hill, you had to. I mean, it was very icy on the way up. So, we had to dig our way out of there. But anyway, so here in Palm Springs, we're going to be enjoying the sunshine. And I hope all you guys are doing well. The markets are a little flat today. So, looking at things in the market as well. And since everybody seems to be very busy right now, I'm going to let you guys go. But I wanted to make sure I made my commitment to be on live. Hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll talk to you later.